Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with this product, which is not new to me, but it's called the Milani Prep and Brighten Rose Face Oil. And so this stuff has been really good. I have been using it since my last video that I made using it. So it's been really good so far. And basically what I used it for is kind of like a primer on my face. And this is usually what I put all over my face. I usually put about 3 to 4 drops in my hand, and then I just kind of rub it together, and then I just smooth it all over my face. And it just leaves my face really soft and silky, and my makeup goes on really well with it. I've also tried actually putting this in my foundation, and I absolutely love it in my foundation. It reminds me somewhat of the Farsali. I don't know that it's as good as the Farsali, but it reminds me somewhat of the Farsali. So I kind of use it in the same method. I do use this in my foundation, but I use it with maybe a more thicker product than a thinner foundation. So yeah, you guys, if you haven't tried this, this is pretty good stuff. Okay, so let me get on with the next product. You guys have seen me use this before. It's the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that in my T-zone. I'm almost out of this stuff. I use it so much. I'm just spreading that all over in those areas where I have some issues with pores. Now today what I wanna do is I'm gonna put my foundation on first, and then I'm gonna go in with these eyeshadows. Now I have seen a couple of reviews on these eyeshadows that I'm about to use. I haven't really heard that there was too much fallout with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my foundation. I'm not gonna do my concealer just yet. I'm just gonna do the foundation first, and then I'll do the concealer once the eyes are all done. So I'm gonna use one of my favorite drugstore foundations today, and that's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And it looks like this. I'm using 2 shades today. One is Golden Beige and the other one is Desert Beige. I use these together because they really don't have my shade in this foundation, so I have to actually mix these two together, and then once I mix it, it looks fine on my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with that, and I'm using the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. Love this sponge. One of the best sponges that I have bought in a long time. It is only $4 for this sponge. So yeah, I've been using this quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just place some of this on the back of my hand, just like that. And then I'm gonna place some of the other shade, which is the darker shade, on the back of my hand as well. And then I'll just mix these two together, place it on my face. I love this foundation. It's so lightweight and it gives really good coverage. Now it's not a full coverage, but it's pretty close to it. But if you've been watching my channel, you guys know that I love a full coverage. Even though a foundation may not be completely full coverage, I'll still use it because I go back in and conceal areas where I think I need more coverage. I usually use the Tarte Shape Tape and Tan for that. So I'm gonna go in with maybe one more layer. That second layer pretty much makes it just right. I'm gonna take a little bit down my neck, because I always do. I go a little bit on my ears as well. So to prime my eyes, I'm going in with the NYX eyeshadow base. This is in the shade ESB03, and it's that nude shade. I'm gonna use this today to prime my eyes. I've been using it a lot here lately. This is just one of my holy grail eyeshadow bases, and I really love this because I love that it comes in this shade. It's like my skin tone shade. It really keeps my eyeshadow on, and it actually allows my eyeshadow to kind of pop. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that all over my eyelid. And I'm just using this Sigma Precision Flat P80 brush just to spread that all over. So I've never ever tried like the Juvia's Place palettes. I've never tried any of their eyeshadows. Actually, I've never tried any of their products. So when I went to Ulta, I saw the display, and initially I wasn't gonna buy any of the Juvia's Place palettes. The reason being is because I had so many palettes that I had already purchased that were new, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just adding more to what I have that I haven't even tried. But Ulta actually had a 20% off coupon that came out, and so I went ahead and purchased 2 of her palettes, And one of them is the Magic Mini by Juvia. It comes like this. Illustration on these palettes are so beautiful. This is actually the outside of the palette, and then this is the inside of the palette. It has the same two females that were on the front. And here's the shades right here. Look how gorgeous those shades are. They're so bright and beautiful. And then I purchased the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette. And here's the front of this palette. Here's the inside of this palette. Again, beautiful blush shades. So out of these palettes, I have used the blush palette the last 2 times that I've done my makeup, and I really like the blush palette. It's very pigmented. You have to go in with a light hand. But today I'm going to use it so that you guys can see how it looks. So let's go ahead and go in with the eyeshadow palette. Today I want to do a really beautiful kind of like gray blue kind of look. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out because I haven't used any of these shades before, but that's the route I want to go. Let me go ahead and set the NYX shadow base because I didn't do that, and I see that it's creasing. I'm just using the Lorac Pro Blurring Translucent Press Powder. I'm going to use that just to set it. You can use any powder to set your eyelids, and the reason you set it is just so that those shades can go on a lot easier. You know, they'll blend a lot better if you just got like this really nice soft canvas on your eyelids. Now, I will say that this palette does not have a lot of transition shades that you can use for, you know, for a transition color. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go in with Nana. Nana is this shade right here. And it looks like a kind of like a tan peachy brown shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my transition color. And I'm using this Morphe M433. I'm tapping off the excess, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go a little bit above my crease. Oh yeah, that's super pigmented. And I really didn't dip it too much into the color because I figured since the blush palette was pretty intense, these colors are going to probably be the same. So, and this is blending really well. So Juvia's place is now at Ulta, and I was so excited because I've heard so many YouTubers talk about this brand, and I've never ordered from them. Initially you would have to order online, and now you can actually get it at Ulta, which is awesome. And they've got such a wide range of palettes that you can choose from. They also have some highlighters. They have, what else did they have? I think they had, oh, there was a highlighting palette. The other highlighters that they had were loose highlighters, but they had a highlighting palette, and then they have, of course, many eyeshadow palettes. If you stop by an Ulta, swatch them because they swatch so beautifully. Now, I know that I'm going to be butchering up these names, and I'm really sorry. I just don't know how they're pronounced. So the next shade I do want to go in with is called, I think it's called Yejide. It's this one right here, this blue one. And I'm going to place that actually all over my lid. And I'm just using an eye shading brush. It's an E55. I dip my brush in there, tapping off the excess, and just placing that on my eyelid. Oh man, that's a beautiful blue shade. Oh my gosh, look at that, y'all. So what I'm doing is just placing this on the lid. It's going to look a little messy, but we're going to blend out the edges, and we're gonna add some more shades. So this is just going on the center of the lid like that. I'm not going into that corner right there, kind of leaving it open for a highlighting shade. This shade is amazing. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna go on top of this blue shade with another shade that's in here in the palette. And it's this beautiful kind of like silver blue shade, and it's called Vi, I think. It's V-A-I. I want to use that shade with a, let's see, this is a MAC 242 brush, and I'm, like I said, I'm just going to place it on top of the blue. There's a look that I'm trying to get from this, so I really hope that it's going to pan out for me. But like I said, I'm just going to go on top of that blue shade. So the blue shade is just going to be like kind of that underlying blue tone. Oh yeah, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Yes, look. And guys, you see here, there's like a little line. I'm not gonna worry about that because I'm gonna blend everything, so. And I'm kind of blending it in the crease so you don't have that line, so it's not looking too like choppy. Okay, so that's the shade there. Okay, so now I want to go into this really pretty, like light icy blue shade, and it's called Yemoja. I hope I'm saying that right. It's this icy blue shade right here. I'm going to use this Dose of Colors. It's just a little bitty brush, and this is just so that I can get into that corner there. And then I'm just kind of blending it into that blue. That is gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to go back into that Nana shade. It's that first shade that we did for transition. And I'm using that same Morphe M433 brush. And I'm just going to go into my crease with it now. So I want to blend all of that blue shade that I used into my crease with this shade, with the transition shade. So now I'm going to go back into the Ujide blue, that blue shade, and I'm using that same Dose of Colors brush, and I'm going in, just tapping it at the edge, and I'm coming into the corner to deepen it up, but I want to blend it into the crease as well. All right, so I put that in the corner, and then I'm going to go back in with that M433 brush. I'm not putting any product on there, and I'm just blending that edge of that blue out. Now those two shades coming together kind of looks a little green, and that's not what I'm trying to go for. So let me go in with a little, like this pointed blending brush, and see if I could just take a little bit of blue back in there just to make it look more blue. So I'm just going to go in with just a tad bit because I don't want it too dark. Okay, I think that's going to do it for now. You can't tell really bad, but it does have like a little greenish blue tinge at the top, but it doesn't look bad. It came out really nicely. So guys, with this eyeshadow, I didn't see like any fallout at all. I mean, it really adhered to the eyelid. I didn't have any issues, so that's a plus. I'm so glad that it didn't fall all over my foundation. So I'm trying this new concealer out, and it's the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer, and I have mine in the shade NC40. I'm going to place that. It's a nice shade for me. Taking my sponge, I'm going to go ahead and blend all of that out. I like the way this looks. I didn't think I was going to really like it, guys. It looked like it was really drying when I tested it on my hand, and I thought for sure that's not going to work on my dry under eyes, but it looks really good. The coverage isn't too bad. I feel like I need a little bit more right here on my inner corners where I have some dark circles. So I'm going to go ahead and just dot. I'm just going to put 2 dots there, and I'll blend that in just to give it a little bit more brightening effect. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape and put that in really quickly to cover up some imperfections. I'm going to set my eyes today with this new powder that I got at Ulta, and it's the Beauty Bakerie Flower Setting Powder. It comes in this cute little packaging here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So cute. Comes in this little plastic packaging, and it says Beauty Bakerie Flower Better Not Bitter. That's so cute. So I got the shade Translucent. I will say that I've used this already a couple of times and it works fine. I don't like setting my face with it. I did set my face with it one day and it just looked really drying. So I don't like setting my face with it, but I don't mind setting my under eyes. I'm still testing it out. So I've really been trying to see whether I like it or not. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and place it on with a Morphe M438. And I want to see, first let me see if I have any creases under my eyes. A little bit, not too bad. Then I'll place this right there. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Well People Bio Brightening Powder. I've used this many times before. This stuff is really good. I bought that at Target. All right, so I'm gonna go in with this little e.l.f. brush and I'm just gonna tap that and then kind of just set everything. This is a very lightweight powder and it's good for your skin. So for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Morphe Highlight and Contour Palette. It's the 8H one. I've actually used this before on one of my tutorials, so I'm just going to go in with this one. I haven't really picked it up a lot lately, so I figured, you know, I really need to start using it again because it wasn't a bad product. It's really nice. But I'm going to go in with Donut, and I'm just using this Moda brush that I actually got from Walmart. It's kind of pointed, as you can see. So it's perfect just to set it right there into your cheekbones or right under your cheekbones. This brush contours the cheekbones really nicely. Just put a little bit on my forehead. Go a little bit under my chin. So I'm gonna go a little bit on top of that with Debutante, just very little. Just on the top of my cheeks. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the Saharan Blush Volume 2 Cheek Palette by Juvia's Place. And the shade I want to use today, because I have more of a cool toned eye, I want to go a little more cool tone. I think what I'm going to do is do the shade B. It's this really beautiful mauve shade. And I'm going to go in with a Japanesque small tapered brush. And I'm just gonna go in lightly because, like I said, these blushes are super pigmented. So I'm just barely tapping my brush in there. You see all that color that's on the brush? Tap that off. And I'm gonna put it right here on the tops of my cheeks. So let me tell you about my little story that happened the day that I used this, the first day I used it. I went in there not thinking. I was trying to get ready really fast. And I went into Sola, which is this beautiful kind of like, it's kind of like a fuchsia type shimmery shade. It's this one right here. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I had like a strip of blush right here on my face. It looked horrible. It reminded me kind of like the Bride of Frankenstein. You know how you see that real chiseled look? I mean, I just went really ham with it and it just looked bad. So I had to go back in with powder and kind of, you know, blend it all out and everything. But yeah, I learned my lesson the first time using this palette. I have two Maybelline Master Holographic highlighters. One of them is called the Prismatic highlighter, and I think that's what it's called, is Prismatic highlighter. And then I have the Master Chrome Metallic highlighter in Molten Peach. I don't know if Molten Peach is gonna actually go with this look. Let me swatch them real quick. And I'll show you guys the swatches too, because they're completely different. One of them is holographic and it has some purple tones and some pink in it. And then the peach one is strictly peach. But you see that right there? That's the Prismatic one and that's the Molten Peach. Well, you know what? Because it's a blue eyeshadow, I think I'm gonna go in with the holographic. So let me do that. And I'm using one of my favorite highlighting brushes right now, besides the Anastasia one. This one is more affordable and I have been absolutely loving it. It's the e.l.f. highlighting brush. It's this one here. It works so well with highlighters. It picks up enough color so that you can distribute that highlight just as much as you want or just as little as you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in there. Oh, that's not bad. Goes well with that blush that I have. I will say though that it's kind of like, what's the word? It's not flaky. What's that word? Anyway, I don't know. But this one just doesn't come off as creamy as the Molten Peach or the other Master Chrome highlighters. This one comes off a little choppy. It does look pretty on the skin. Just know that it's gonna go everywhere if you use it, because it's like all over the place right now. Let me go ahead and finish my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna go in with that blue on my lower lash line, and then I'm gonna go over it with Vi. So I'm using Yajid, which is the dark blue, and then I'm gonna go over it with Vi. I'm gonna use this Delium Tool 780, and then just kind of tap it in there, get a little bit of color. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with Vi on top of that blue. Oh man, that looks so pretty, guys. I love the way this look came out. Oh, let me do lips real quick before I go off camera to do my eyebrows. So let me do, I don't know if I want to do a dark lip or if I want to do, because this would be really pretty, but it's like really intense. And then I have this gloss, but I don't know if it's going to be light enough. The eyes are pretty intense, so how do I have hair right here? Okay, let me go in with the lighter shade first, and then I may go ahead and show you guys what the darker shade looks like. But I was in Ulta and I picked up this e.l.f. lip gloss, which is in Nude Rose by Alissa Ashley. She's a YouTuber as well, and I've seen a couple of her videos, but I saw this really beautiful lip gloss in Ulta and I had to have it. So it comes like this in this packaging. And then on the side, it has her signature, Alissa Ashley, right there. But it's such a beautiful rose tone. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. I think I'm going to use this today for sure. That's pretty. Okay, I really love this lip gloss, but not with this look, you know? It's just too, I don't know. I just don't like it with this look. I think I need a little bit lighter nude. I'm gonna keep it on, and then what I'll do is, I forgot to go in with the lip liner. I'm gonna go in with the lip liner, and then I'm gonna put on maybe just a little lighter nude lipstick in just right here, like right here at the bottom of my lips, and like maybe right here. And then I'll come back after I do that and after I do my brows, and we'll talk about all these products that I use today. So we'll see you guys in a bit. All right guys, so for my lips, I use this Rimmel Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner in this shade Epic. And of course you saw me put the lip gloss on before I went in with the lip liner. And I love that lip gloss. It feels really good on the lips. And then I went in with this Almay Sleep Later. It's their Lip Vibes line, and it's a very light nude shade. And I just went kind of just in the center of my lips. So yeah, so I finished that up with that. And then I went in with the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil for my brows. I love this. It's by e.l.f. It's such a great pencil. All right, so let me go ahead and talk about the products that I used today. And I want to start with the Juvia's Place products. I really love this blush palette. It is such a good blush palette, and the colors in here are so pigmented and just beautiful on the skin. I love the way that this came out with the B color that I used. That B shade that I used is just so beautiful. It's just the perfect mauve shade. I really love how they blend out. They just look really nice on the skin, and so I'm so glad that I picked this up. This is gonna be a blush palette that I'm gonna be reaching for throughout the rest of the year, and yeah, I really love this. Okay guys, I cannot get over how pigmented these shades are in this palette, and how that blue went on when I put it on my lid. It just looks so gorgeous on the lid. And then topping it off with Vi on top of that blue, it turned into such a beautiful shade that I am completely impressed. I wish they had more like transition shades, maybe like a cooler tone, so that, you know, you can use it with the blues and the grays in the palette. But, you know, I will say that Nana, the shade that I used, it wasn't too bad. It looks okay with these blue colors. I did have a little bit of trouble with getting that color that I wanted with the blue color and the transition shade color. It kind of turned like into a, maybe like a, more like a blue green, but even so, it does not look bad. It looks really nice on the eyelid. But other than that, I really love the shades in the palette. I really love the pigmentation of these. They blended beautifully. Yeah guys, this is a great palette. If you guys can check this palette out, or any of our other palettes, you can't go wrong with this palette. So yeah, this is a plus for me. I really, really liked it. I already talked about the lip gloss and how much I really liked it. It feels really good on the lips. I love this shade. If you guys are looking for a really beautiful, like kind of rose brown shade for your lips, this is going to be such a great color for that. It is such a great color on the lips, and I really, really like this. So the MAC 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer, I'm so surprised about how this went on, because initially when swatching it in the store, I thought it was gonna be like really dry. But then when I put it under my under eyes and I blended it in with the sponge, it blended in so smoothly. Guys, it looked really good. So let me look right now how it looks. And it is not creased. It looks just like when I set it. Now, I think it has a lot to do with not only the fact that it is a good smoothing concealer, but the fact that I put the Beauty Bakerie on top. So this and this together worked really well together. I have used the Beauty Bakerie. I used it with my Born This Way Too Faced concealer, and I didn't like it as much as I like my Laura Mercier blurring powder. At that point, I was like, you know what, let me just try it again. And use it with a different concealer. So this combination here works perfectly. It looks really smooth under the eyes. I don't see any creasing, I don't see any caking up, and I don't see any drying. It looks just really nice. So having said that about the eyes, I want to say that I cannot use this flower powder all over my face. It just looks really drying on my face. It doesn't look like it sets my makeup well. It looks kind of cakey. So I won't be using this for my face, but I will be using it in conjunction with this concealer for my under eyes. The Maybelline Master Holographic Highlighter. This is really pretty on the cheeks, but guys, it's very chunky. That's the word I was trying to think of when I was explaining it earlier. But it's very chunky. It gets everywhere. So I have other holographic highlighters that work better than this. They're a lot creamier than this. This one is just a no-no for me, but I really love the creaminess of this one and all the other Master Chrome highlighters, which is like the Molten Topaz and the Molten Gold. So I really like those, but this one was just a big no-no. Oh, and I like the Nikkie Tutorials too, but this one's gonna go back. I just did not like it as much. I think those are all the products that I used that were new to me. So yeah, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this review and impressions that I did today of these products. These were some products that are probably not new to the market, but they were new to me, and I had been wanting to try them out, and I'm so glad that I could do that for you guys today. So anyway, thank you again for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.